I feel like the air in Las Vegas is just different right now. There is something going on behind the scenes that nobody wants to admit, but it could change the entire fate of our franchise before the first ball is even snapped. Maxx Crosby, Brock Bowers, and even the past that just keeps knocking on our door, the pieces are moving way too fast. I am restless, and you should be too. What is going down is serious, and the consequences could be devastating. So, hit that like button and stay until the end, because this could change everything. It does not make sense. And the more we look at this Maxx Crosby situation, the worse it seems to get. According to reports, the Chicago Bears are being encouraged to pursue a trade, offering a package that includes first-round picks. But the question that keeps us all up at night is, why would we even be considering this? Maxx is the soul of this team. Last season, even while dealing with the pain of a torn meniscus, he played 935 defensive snaps. That is 10 sacks, 12 quarterback hits, and a grit that nobody else in this league shows. He is the heart of our defense, the guy who draws double teams and still finds a way to get to the target. Now, there are speculations that the Raiders could be in full rebuild mode, looking toward the future, but how do you rebuild a house by tearing down the pillar that holds it up? If this actually happens, if we trade Crosby for draft picks that may or may not pan out, we are sending a clear message to the locker room and the fans that immediate success is not our priority. It is a decision that keeps me up at night, and it is not just about his talent, it is about the energy. Crosby is the mirror of what the Raider Nation should be. He is the leader who demands respect the second he steps onto the field. But hold up, because what is coming next makes the situation even more intense. The veteran recently stated that his rehab is incredible, that he is ahead of schedule and back to boxing. That is excellent, right? But what if he comes back, dominates, and the team keeps struggling? The offers are going to pour in, and the Chicago Bears, who want to take that next step in the NFC, already have their name on the table. They need this piece to make a Super Bowl run, and we, according to sources, are asking for a lot. 2 first-round picks. It is a dangerous gamble. If we keep Maxx, the defense can breathe. If we let him go, we enter uncharted territory, and honestly, it looks pretty dark. Does the front office have the guts to sacrifice the identity of this team for financial flexibility and draft capital? Or is this just a game of chess to increase the value of our biggest asset? Is this a smart move or a mistake that could cost our fan base years of frustration? But let us shift the focus to the offense, because there is a kid carrying a massive responsibility on his back. Brock Bowers, the respect for this tight end is insane, and even with the injuries last year and the mess of our offensive system, analysts keep pointing at him as the best in the league. But are we putting too much expectation on such a young player? Benjamin Solak believes Bowers is going to be the key, comparing his importance to what we saw with Jackson Smith-Jigba in Seattle. The idea is that he will be the foundation of everything, the guy who absorbs the highest percentage of targets. And that is not even the most worrying part. What worries me is the environment around him. Last year, Bowers played with a quarterback who led the league in interceptions and an offensive coordinator who looked lost. It was a scenario of total futility. Now, with Klint Kubiak in charge and Ashton Jeanty leading the ground game, the plan seems to be using play action to open up the field. It makes sense on paper, right? You force the defense to crash down to stop Jeanty, the safety drops, and Bowers exploits the seam. It is a beautiful tactical design, but on the field against elite defenses, it is a whole different ballgame. Bowers is a special player, the kind who wins physical battles against linebackers with scary ease. He is not just a regular wide receiver, he is a precision weapon. But without a number 1 receiver on the other side to split the defensive attention, the target on Bowers' back is going to double in size. He is going to be doubled, held, and pressed on every single down. If he can overcome that and set a historical production standard, like Tony Gonzalez did back in the day, we have a generational star. If not, we could see our best offensive asset get erased game after game. It is a trial by fire. Will Kubiak's scheme be the difference maker? Or are we waiting for miracles from a player who is still proving himself physically? It is a delicate balance between optimism and reality, and honestly, we need this kid to be 100% healthy, because without him, this offense could become something we prefer not to talk about. And to close, something that divides opinions in a way you would not believe. Jon Gruden, the man, the myth, The controversial former coach, he is still off the sidelines, stuck in a legal battle with the NFL that seems to have no end, and as long as he is in that legal fight, the doors of league teams remain locked for him. But he cannot stay away. According to reports, he now wants to try his hand as a play-by-play broadcaster. He is already practicing in preseason games. Does that sound like a step back or a comeback strategy? Gruden was always loved in the broadcast booth. He has charisma, he understands the game like few others, and when he opens his mouth, you pay attention. But does he still have that same relevance? He is 62, and today's NFL, with coaches getting younger and focused on high-end analytics, seems to be heading in the opposite direction of the Gruden style. His last stint here with the Raiders left no good memories. It was a period marked by controversy and results that did not justify the investment. So, when we see him trying to get back in, we ask ourselves, is he trying to stay alive in the sport, or is he trying to clean up his own image for a possible return as a head coach down the road? There are speculations that college football could be a more natural destination where his figure would have more impact on young players, but even he admits that his heart is in the NFL. Nothing is confirmed yet about which network will give him that microphone, but his shadow always hangs over any conversation about culture and leadership in the Raiders. Can he reinvent himself in the booth, or has his time passed? The fans, as always, are split. Some people miss his energy, others do not want to see him anywhere near the franchise. What I do know is that as long as Gruden is around, he will never stop being a headline, and this desire of his to be a broadcaster is just the latest chapter of a story that seems like it will never have an ending. We need to be real about what is happening here. We are facing a turning point for the immediate future of our organization. When you look at the full picture, the feeling that something is going on behind the curtain is inevitable. On one side, we have the central pillar of our defense, Maxx Crosby, being the target of trade rumors. The idea of giving up such a fundamental piece, even for draft capital, gives me chills. Is the front office really willing to sacrifice our identity for a long-term plan? If this is a sign that the Raiders are lost, the consequence for the morale of the fans will be devastating. It is not just about football, it is about keeping the DNA of the franchise intact, and any wrong move here could cost us years of painful rebuilding. On the other side, we have almost inhuman responsibility falling on the shoulders of Brock Bowers. He is, without a doubt, our biggest offensive hope. But are we being fair by putting so much weight on a player who is still looking for physical consistency? If Klint Kubiak's scheme does not work, or if the offensive line and receivers do not step up, Bowers is going to end up wasted like so many other stars who have passed through here, and of course we cannot ignore the shadow of Jon Gruden. As he tries to reinvent himself in the broadcast booth, the ghost of his last run still echoes in the hallways. It is a mix of nostalgia and distrust that makes the environment feel even heavier. Now I am asking you, fan who breathes silver and black, are we watching the construction of something solid, or are we just seeing chaos being masked by desperate decisions? I am following every detail and every word of these reports because our loyalty to the Raiders does not let us settle. The situation is complex, and the answers are still a big question mark. I want to know your honest opinion in the comments. Is this the right path to get back to the top, or are we heading into a bottomless hole? Hit the like, share with other fans, and subscribe, because here we do not sugarcoat mistakes. Raiders Nation, I will talk to you soon.